Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current and latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So lots to talk about on this current video today, but the first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Andre Onana, you know, the current Ajax goalkeeper. So now reports have been coming out in the last couple of days saying that Manchester United are reportedly identifying Andre Onana as a possible replacement for David De Gea. Now, I don't really know much about this Andre Onana. I think reports came out a couple of days ago saying that Manchester United allegedly had a bid turned down of around £35 million for him. Andre Onana is only 23 years of age, so he is very, very young, but he has had 3 years worth of experience as Ajax's starting goalkeeper. I think he's initially valued at around 35 or 40 million pounds, and he's a Cameroon international, but I don't really know much about this goalkeeper, but reportedly Man United have identified him as a possible replacement for David De Gea, because obviously, you know, with the situation going on with David De Gea, I do believe he is going to leave Manchester United. Obviously for a long time, you know, Manchester United have been in negotiations, you know, to try and get David De Gea a new contract, but obviously we have not yet, you know, come to an agreement to get David De Gea a new contract. Obviously reports came out a couple of days ago saying that De Gea is demanding that he wants around £400,000 a week from Manchester United, so basically De Gea wants to be the highest paid player at the club alongside Alexis Sanchez, but reportedly Ed Woodward is refusing to meet David De Gea's wage demands, of course. So David De Gea, as you all know, has only got a year left on his contract with Manchester United, and we do know PSG have been heavily linked with David De Gea. I think now PSG are intending on getting David De Gea on a free transfer next year, which obviously, you know, means PSG, you know, wouldn't have to put like any kind of, wouldn't have to pay any fee for him, and this could tempt, you know, PSG, you know, to offer him a bigger salary. And I do believe if David De Gea does go, I do believe that he will make the move to PSG. Obviously, you know, PSG are having their eye on their demands, you know, to UEFA's financial fair play, because we do know PSG have spent big on players in the last couple of seasons, you know, they spent big on Neymar, they spent big on Mbappe. They are the two most expensive players in world football at the moment. But as I did say, you know, I think Manchester United, you know, need to cash in for him this summer, you know, if we can't come to an agreement to get him a new contract, because I do believe it would be a calamity, you know, if we did let David De Gea go on a free transfer, and I do believe maybe we could get around 60 or 70 million pounds for David De Gea. We do know he's worth more than that. I'd probably say at full value he's worth about 100 million pounds is De Gea, but looking at it, you know, he's only got a year left on his contract. Obviously Real Madrid have been long admirers of De Gea. Obviously, you know, reflecting back in 2015, you know, Real Madrid were on the brink of getting a deal over the line for David De Gea, but obviously, you know, due to a fax machine, obviously, you know, the deal never currently materialised, so obviously, you know, he stayed at Manchester United, you know, did David De Gea, but we have not yet, you know, come to an agreement to get him a new contract, but he has been a fantastic servant for the club so far. You know, he's been here 8 seasons now, De Gea. He has made over 300 appearances in all competitions. He's won everything here domestically. You know, he's won the Club's Player of the Year 4 times out of the last 5 years. He's won the Smart Buzzer Player of the Year 3 times out of the last 4 years, you know, reflecting on his impressive performances. I know towards the back end of the season, you know, he was making some costly mistakes, was De Gea, but I do believe he's going through a difficult period at the moment, and I think the main factor reason why he was making these mistakes, and I believe it's mainly to do with the you know, contract situation. But this is another problem with Manchester United. You know, we've let far too many players' contracts run down. You know, Rashford's only got a year left on his deal. We haven't yet come to an agreement to get him a new contract. You know, we've let Ander Herrera go on a free transfer. So we've let far too many players' contracts run down, and that's what's disappointing. And you know, obviously, why did we give Smalling and Jones a new long-term contract? You know, why did we give Ash Young a new 1-year extension? So that's bad judgment for Manchester United. But if De Gea, of course, is to leave the club, obviously, you know, we're going to have to find a replacement for him. And I think the likes of Romero isn't reliable enough to become our #1 goalkeeper. Dean Henderson, of course, hasn't really got the experience, you know, because obviously, you know, Dean Henderson actually is on loan at Sheffield United at the moment. I know we've got the likes of Lee Grant. Lee Grant, I think, will be going in the summer, I should presume. Obviously, you know, we got in last summer from, was it Stoke City, if I can remember rightly. But as I did currently say, we're going to need a replacement for De Gea if he leaves. So now, reportedly, Manchester United have identified Andre Onana as a potential replacement for David De Gea. So do you believe he'd be a good replacement for De Gea? Let me know in the comments below. And now, other news to give you guys an update on is in regards to Ligt from Ajax. Of course, now according to Sky Sports, it has currently said that Ligt is intending on making the move to Barcelona this summer. And I think from his own perspective, he wants to make the move to Barcelona. Does Ligt? Actually, reports came out yesterday though saying that allegedly Ligt's move to Barcelona had currently stalled. I don't really know the main factor reason why. I didn't read the full article, but it did allegedly say that Ligt's move to Barcelona had currently stalled. We do know Barcelona anywhere are amongst the favourites, to get the pursuit of the player. Obviously, Ligt's attracted interest from the likes of my club, Manchester United. We do also know that Liverpool have been heavily linked to him, and he's initially valued around £65 million. Obviously, he has become an integral part of Ajax's team, of course. But I think it came out, was it yesterday, if I'm right, or was it today, saying that Liverpool have made inquiries about getting the pursuit of the player. And according to the Spanish journalist, he basically said that Liverpool have been in negotiations, with Ligt over the summer transfer from Ajax. And I think the main factor reason why Liverpool had showed an interest in Ligt, because obviously Virgil van Dijk and Ligt, know each other, really, really well, because obviously, they're both Dutch. Obviously, they're both playing the Netherlands national team, so they both know each other really, really well. But I think Liverpool now have actually, opted out of the race because I think Liverpool now know that they don't really need a central defence. I think Liverpool and Klopp, are identifying other positions where he thinks Liverpool may need to currently strengthen up. So Liverpool don't need a central defender anyway, because obviously, they've got Virgil van Dijk, who they paid £75 million for in January of 2018, and and Virgil van Dijk, has done absolutely fantastic. He's addressed Liverpool's defensive deficiencies fantastically well. Also, Liverpool, of course, have got Joe Gomez. So Liverpool don't even need a central defender. It's my club, Manchester United, that need a central defender. And I think Ligt's a really, really good player. He holds his line very, very well. He's only very, very young. He's only 19 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But it's looking likely he is going to be going to Barcelona. But reflecting a couple of weeks back, Edwin van der Sar, of course, who was the CEO of Ajax, he blatantly came out and said he's very, very convinced that Ligt will depart Ajax this summer, and he said he does believe that he'll either make the move to England or Spain. But I think he's now it's going to be likely he will be playing his trade next season in Spain with Barcelona. But this will take his career to the next level, of course, because obviously so far Ligt has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. Obviously he's had 3 years worth of experience in the senior squad. Obviously made his senior debut in 2016. But I do believe that Ligt can leave Ajax with his head held up high. Obviously helping them, get to the Champions League semi-final. Obviously, helping them clinch a domestic double, including the Eredivisie title, for the first time since 2014. So I do believe, that Ligt, can leave with his head held up high, of course. But he has so far, as I said, spent the entirety of his career at Ajax. And I think, he became more, of a first team starter, of course, when Ajax let Davinson Sanchez, go to Tottenham, back in 2017. And obviously, so it's looking likely Barcelona are going to get a deal over the line for him. And obviously, we do know, Barcelona have obviously got Frankie de Jong, obviously, Ligt's teammate. Obviously, they agreed the fee last summer with Ajax. I think the fee was around £75 million. So obviously, Barcelona have also, got Frankie de Jong coming in this summer. So it's looking likely now Ligt is going to be making the move to Barcelona. But as I did say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, has worked out his transfer strategy for this summer, and he's blatantly made it clear that he wants to sign a number of young players. He wants to recommend a number of young players, that can come in, that can grow, develop, and emulate into superstars. And I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is actually intending on bringing any short-term players in, and he has been on our agenda as Ligt, and I'd love him to come to Manchester United. I think he'd blend in very, very well alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, but he's not going to be cheap anywhere. As I said, I think he's initially valued at around £65 million as Ligt, and he's only 19 years of age, and he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. So when he does go to Barcelona, which is looking very, very realistic, I think he's got all the attributes and all the capabilities to go succeed with Barcelona as Ligt. So that's been confirmed now from Sky Sports. It's looking likely he is going to be making the move to Barcelona. So that's a big breaking news to update you on that. Obviously, as I updated you earlier on of what was going on in regards to Gareth Bale, of course. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane has declared that Gareth Bale doesn't have a future at Real Madrid, and he has basically confirmed as Zinedine Zidane that Gareth Bale no longer fits in Real Madrid's plans. So it's definitely likely next season that Gareth Bale, will not be at Real Madrid. Obviously, we do know Gareth Bale Bale has been on Manchester United's agenda, now for quite some time. I think we've been linked to him since 2013. But as I said, I don't want him to come to Manchester United. Gareth Bale, he's on the decline. He's aging up. He's also injury prone. Gareth Bale, as I said, if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, I'd have probably took your hand off, as I said on my previous video. But Gareth Bale is injury prone. He's nearly 30 years of age, and I think he's been inconsistent in the last couple of seasons with Real Madrid. And I think he's still got 3 years left on his contract. Obviously, he's on a massive wages as well as Bale. So if Real Madrid, Real Madrid of course are willing to let him go, but I think they might have to let him go on a loan, of course, because there won't be many teams that can afford Gareth Bale, based on his substantial wages. Because Gareth Bale is highly paid, and I don't think there'll be many teams that can afford him. So they'll find it difficult to get rid of him permanently. I think Man United, we are one of the clubs though, that could actually afford Gareth Bale. But if Real Madrid were willing to let him go permanently anywhere, they wouldn't recoup the initial £85 million. They did pay for him from Tottenham. I think they'd maybe get around £55 or £60 million for Bale. But yeah, I think Bale, he's reluctant, to leave Real Madrid. But as I've said, I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. And obviously he's been at Real Madrid 6 years now. Obviously, he has won 4 Champions Leagues with them. He has won the La Liga with them. He has won the Copa del Rey with them as Bale. But I do not want him at Manchester United, because I do believe now he's on the decline, and we're not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. And he's under contract with Real Madrid until 2022. And obviously, Real Madrid let Ronaldo go last summer, and then obviously Real Madrid wanted Gareth Bale and to step up to the plate, but he has failed to do that as Bale. And obviously, Real Madrid lost 2-0 to Real Betis in their final game of the season at the weekend. Obviously, Gareth Bale didn't get given his farewell appearance. He was on the bench, but he was an unused substitute with Bale. So I do not want Gareth Bale at Manchester United, and I'm making that clear. But Man United, could go in for him. There has been talks that he could make a return to his former club, Tottenham. Obviously, he had 6 good years, with Tottenham when he was younger. So obviously, he's had experience in the Premier League, Gareth Bale. So there is reports saying that he could make a return to the Premier League. But whether I think Real Madrid are willing to let him go out on loan. So they'll either let him go on loan or let him go permanently. But based on his substantial wages, it's going to be hard for Real Madrid, to get rid of him permanently. And I think his salary is having a totally bad effect on Real Madrid, to be quite honest with you. But this is why, basically, Real Madrid currently want to get rid of him. But yeah, as I did say, I think he's on the decline, and I think he's another Alexis Sanchez, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So yeah, definitely don't want him at Manchester United. Other news to give you an update on, as you all know, is in regards to Crystal Palace's Anje Wan-Bissaka. Now, reports have been coming out about him, saying Crystal Palace want around £60 million for Anje Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, so far, Anje Wan-Bissaka has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. Obviously, initially was a winger, when he was a lot younger, but now he has been rotated as a right back, and I do believe Anje Wan-Bissaka is regarded as the best right back in the Premier League. He's only 21 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him, Anje Wan-Bissaka. And Manchester United, we've been interested in him. Crystal Palace reportedly want around £60 million. But yeah, I think he's got the I think his defensive capabilities are very, very good, and I think he'd be a good replacement for Valencia. I think he'd be a good upgrade to Ashley Young, and I do believe as well we do need a cover up for Diego Dalot. But Anje Wan-Bissaka has only been in the senior squad with Crystal Palace about 15 months now. Obviously, he broke into Crystal Palace's senior squad in February of last year, did Anje Wan-Bissaka. Still got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. So Manchester United willing to pay his £60 million price tag. I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. So a lot of talks about that going on. There has been big breaking news about Nicolas Pepe that came out of the press yesterday, saying that the Lille boss had confirmed that Nicolas Pepe, will be departing Lille this summer. Which is very, very good news. He's attracted interest, from quite a few clubs. Based on his fantastic performances throughout the course of this season with Lille. I think he scored 20 odd goals, which is very, very impressive. Also, has got a number of assists, and so far he has spent the entirety of his career in France. So I do believe he's got all the capabilities and all the attributes, to come and succeed in the Premier League. And I do believe it would be the next step for Nicolas Pepe. But I do really like him. I think he's the obvious candidate for the right wing because he's primarily a winner. Only 23 years of age, has got a lot of years ahead of him. I think he's reportedly valued at around 69 or 70 million. It did say Manchester United were eyeing around a £45 million move for him. Obviously, he's been on Arsenal's agenda at least for the last couple of months. Liverpool have been linked to him, Bayern Munich have been linked to him, PSG have been linked to him. So look at all the clubs that have been interested in Nicolas Pepe. I think he's still under contract with Lille until 2022. But yeah, I think he'd be fantastic for us. I think he'd blend in very well in our attacking line. He'd bring us them goals and that we need. So yeah, I think he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. But as I did say, it's going to be difficult for us to attract players to the elite level because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, still does believe, we can get players to the elite level, even though we're not currently in Champions League football, of course. So yeah, I do believe, Nicolas Pepe, would be the right solution for Manchester United. But there's quite a few teams in there for him. But it would take his career to the next level, of course, if he was to come to the Premier League. But yeah, the Lille boss has confirmed that he will be leaving Lille this summer, which is very good news. And I do believe, we need new additions in that midfield, of course, because obviously, Paul Pogba, it's looking like, Paul Pogba is going to be making the move to Real Madrid. I think he's willing now to take a pay cut, is Paul Pogba, to make his dream move to Real Madrid. Because obviously reports are coming out saying that talks had stalled, between Paul Pogba and Real Madrid, based on his 13 million a year wage demands. Obviously, his wage demands, they didn't fit in Real Madrid's wage structure, of course, and Real Madrid were not willing to meet his 13 million a year wage demands. So I do believe now that Paul Pogba is willing to take a pay cut. It did initially say Manchester United, want around £160 million for Pogba, but Real Madrid were not willing to pay it, and I don't think we're going to get £160 million for Pogba, but we could still get around 120 or £130 million for him, and I do believe it will be beneficial, if we can get rid of Paul Pogba. It will help us with our transition, it will help us with our rebuilding process, and we do know that we're getting a spending spree of £250 million this summer. We're looking to bring at least 5 new players to the club. We're looking to get rid of at least 5 players. Obviously, all the players want to go. We're not going to be able to address this in one summer, in one window, so it's going to take a couple of windows, to address that problem. So if we're getting £250 million to spend this summer, we get rid of Pogba, we get rid of Lukaku, that's probably £200 million plus there, so that's going to put it up to like over £450 million to spend for the summer. But Paul Pogba doesn't want to be at Manchester United, and I believe maybe one of the main factor reasons why he doesn't want to be at the club, Paul Pogba, because he may be a player of his calibre, wants to be playing to the highest level, wants to be up there challenging, winning trophies, of course, and Manchester United are a number of years off doing this, and we have seen glimpses of Paul Pogba's best form. We mainly saw it in the 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager, and it was when mainly Andre Onana was playing, we got the best of Paul Pogba, so that just emphasises how much of an impact, Andre Onana, of course, makes in that midfield, and how much of an impact, Andre Onana made in that midfield, so that just shows how much of an impact he made, and that's when we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, because he was expressing himself, he was scoring goals, and he was providing, but at least in his last 7 or 8 games, his performances have been way below par, and that just emphasises, that he doesn't want to be at Manchester United, Paul Pogba. I think Man United have been in negotiations and try to get Paul Pogba a new contract at the club. Obviously, we haven't come to an agreement to get Paul Pogba a new contract, because he's still got 3 years left on his contract, Paul Pogba, but we do know at least in the last couple of weeks, Paul Pogba's agent, Raiola, has been in the process of finding him a new club, but maybe, Paul Pogba, wants to be playing amongst better players as well. That may be another reason, and he isn't getting this at Manchester United, Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba was heavily linked to a move away from Old Trafford last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, he had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho, of course, and he was linked with his former club, Juventus. He was linked to a move to Barcelona, and Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes, of course, when Jose Mourinho got sacked from the club. Obviously, since we got Paul Pogba in 2016, he's won the Europa League with us, he's won the League Cup with us. Obviously, that came in Jose Mourinho's first season. But yeah, he's our most expensive player. We paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, and as I did say, getting them Galactico players, always spending big on players, doesn't always guarantee you success, and doesn't always get you in that commanding position, where you do want to be. And Man United have got a history of spending big on players. Lukaku, 75 million, Pogba, £89 million, doesn't always get you in that position, of course, where you do currently want to be. And this is why I said maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because we do know there's a lot of players out there for reasonable figure. But I think been the right replacement, for Paul Pogba. And we get 120, 130 million for Pogba, we can get 2 players with that money. And I think Bruno Fernandes, would be the right replacement for Paul Pogba. We do know there's been a lot of talks, going on about Bruno Fernandes, because he has been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time now, as Bruno Fernandes. I think Sporting Lisbon have said they want around £60 million for Bruno Fernandes, but I do believe he's got all the attributes, to succeed in the Premier League. And I hope he's, plying his trade in the Premier League next season. And I hope he does come to Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes, full of goals, got assists in him, and we need creativeness in our midfield, we need depth in our midfield. And I do believe, Bruno Fernandes, would be currently the right solution. He's tied it up in Portugal. He's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons. His initial release clause is around 85 or is it £86 million. We do know Manchester City are also, in for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, it said that quite a few weeks back that City were close to finalising a deal for Bruno Fernandes. He said City were in talks with Sporting Lisbon over the deal worth around £47 million for Bruno Fernandes, and did say City were willing to offer 1 or 2 of their players as part of the deal. But I think then it did initially allegedly say that City adopted him out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. And obviously, City are obviously seeing him as a replacement for Fernandinho. But Fernandinho is actually primarily defensive midfielder. Bruno Fernandes is predominantly an attacking midfielder. So this is why I said he'd be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. And he's only 24 years of age. He has got a lot of years ahead of him. And I think he will produce and deliver the same element of the performances he has been doing with Sporting Lisbon if he was to currently come to the Premier League. So yeah, we've been heavily linked to him. Sporting Lisbon wants £60 million. So yeah, I think it'd be the right solution for Manchester United. And talking about Benfica's João Felix, news came out about him yesterday. As you all currently know, about João Felix, saying that Man United now we have stepped up our interest in João Felix. It is saying that negotiations are currently going on. Reportedly, Manchester United are prepared to pay up to the £100 million for João Felix, because that's obviously João Felix's release clause in his deal with Benfica. He has obviously not yet made his senior debut for Portugal. But I think, João Felix, can become, one of the best players in the world. I don't think he'll emulate into like a Ronaldo or a Lionel Messi. But I do believe, he can become one of the best players in the world. Can João Felix, he's got immense talent. He's only 19 years of age. It said Man United again, scouted him yet again at the weekend. But Man United have instructed scouts. We instructed scouts at the weekend, to watch him. But Man United scouts have been watching him at least in the last couple of months, based on his fantastic performances. And and it's only, I think this has only been his first season in the senior squad, with Benfica, João Felix is. But yeah, he's been on Manchester United's agenda, for quite some time, and he's attracted interest, from quite a few other teams. But now we've stepped our interest up in him. Obviously, he's primarily an attacking midfielder. Can also, play as a winner. Can also play as a striker. So he's very, very versatile. Is João Felix, and he's Portuguese as well. And I would love to get Bruno Fernandes and João Felix in, but I don't believe Manchester United will get both of them. We may get one of them, but I don't believe we'll get both of them. But they're both very, very good players. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is more experienced than João Felix, because obviously, Bruno Fernandes is 24, João Felix is 19, and obviously Bruno Fernandes is 5 years older. But I'd love both of them to come to Manchester United. It did say reportedly, they'd cost them around £150 million, would both of them. But yeah, I definitely love them at Manchester United. I'd love Jadon Sancho at Manchester United. I really, really would love Jadon Sancho at Manchester United. But I don't think we're going to get a deal over the line for Jadon Sancho, even though Manchester United, we were willing to pay up to the £100 million for Jadon Sancho. But now it's looking likely, we're not going to get a deal over the line, because I think the main factor is why we're not going to get a deal over the line for Jadon Sancho, because we failed to get into the Champions League for next season. And I think Jadon Sancho is intending on spending at least one more season with Borussia Dortmund, as he has currently confirmed. And I think Borussia Dortmund are very, very convinced, that he will stay at Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho. And I think, if he was to make a return back to the Premier League, I think it would help him with his developing process. It would help him with his developing process, and I think it would create him a better platform for Jadon Sancho. Obviously, he's had experience of playing in the Premier League, with Man City. He never really got the opportunity at Manchester City, and this is the main reason why he left City, and of course went to Borussia Dortmund. And he has been an integral part of Borussia Dortmund's squad. And Borussia Dortmund know financially, they'd make a huge profit on Jadon Sancho if they were to sell him, because obviously, they initially value him at around £100 million, and Borussia Dortmund got him for next to no. They only paid around £7 or £8 million for Manchester City, but I still believe Borussia Dortmund know how much much of a central player he is. And obviously, Borussia Dortmund have obviously, lost Pulisic to Chelsea, they lost Aubameyang to Arsenal, obviously they lost Ousmane Dembele to Barcelona, so they do know how much of a central player Jadon Sancho is. Primarily a winner, Jadon Sancho, can also play centrally, but I think he's primarily a winner. That's where you see the best of Jadon Sancho, but can score goals, can provide, only 19 years of age, and he has been the club's #1 priority target, for a very, very long time, as Jadon Sancho, so I think he's intending on staying with Borussia Dortmund. But yeah, he's been the club's #1 priority target for a very, very long time. And talking about Ryan Sessegnon, Man United, of course, as you all know, are linked with Ryan Sessegnon, and obviously reports have been coming out in the last couple of days, saying that Manchester United have made initial contact with Fulham over the potential move for Ryan Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon is only 19 years of age, so he is very, very young. Obviously, so far he has spent the entirety of his career with Fulham, but obviously he's had now 3 years worth of experience in Fulham's senior squad, and he's been absolutely fantastic as Ryan Sessegnon. I think he's initially rated at around £40 million, and this is what Fulham, would demand for him. I think he has been on Tottenham's agenda, for quite some time now, as Ryan Sessegnon. I think also Juventus have attracted their interest in the player, but he has now made over 100 odd appearances in the senior squad, with Fulham as Ryan Sessegnon. But I think Ryan Sessegnon wants to leave Fulham because he's reluctant to spend another season in the Championship with Fulham. Obviously, Fulham are in the Championship next season. Obviously, they're relegated from the Premier League after only spending one season in the top flight. Ryan Sessegnon has only got 1 year left on his contract with Fulham, but yeah, very, very good player is Ryan Sessegnon. Plays as a left back, and also play as a left winger. I think now, to be honest with you, Ryan Sessegnon is primarily a left winger. Obviously, he's got a year of experience in he's had a year of experience in the Premier League, under his belt. Obviously, in the Championship the season before, so he has progressed up the ranks, fantastically well as Ryan Sessegnon. He's growing and developing, fantastically well, but I think he maybe wants to take his career to the next level, maybe go to a competitive elite level football club, and obviously he's not going to experience this with Fulham, so I do believe Ryan Sessegnon is going to be going. So could he make the move to Manchester United, because Manchester United, have been linked, Ryan Sessegnon in the past a couple of times. Ryan Sessegnon, of course, is the first player to be born in the 2000s, to score a goal in a first-team game. So his stats are very, very impressive, Ryan Sessegnon's. But as I said, he's only got a year left on his deal, and he has got a lot of years ahead of him. And he has got a lot of years ahead of him. But I still believe that probably Tottenham, are the favourites, to currently land Ryan Sessegnon. But I think we're okay on that left-hand side. As I do keep saying, we've got Luke Shaw as our left-back. Hasn't done much on as a Manchester United player. Obviously, as you all know, won the Player of the Year award this season, which was good. Hasn't really done much on Luke Shaw. And I think anyway, we're on the verge of supposedly getting Daniel James from Swansea. Again, very, very young, only 21 years of age. Obviously, hasn't played to the highest level yet, of course, obviously because he's obviously a Championship player. But Daniel James, has he got the capabilities and the attributes to come and succeed in the Premier League? Can he exceed expectation levels in the Premier League? Daniel James, he's been good throughout the course of this season with Swansea. Only got a year left on his deal. But yeah, the stories broke out about this last week, saying that Manchester United were close to agreeing around a £15 million deal for Daniel James, and that's a reasonable figure, of course. And he's a surprise solution. He's a low expectation. He's a cheap acquisition. Is Daniel James, and yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him going on. So looking at it, ultimately, he could be our first signing. Primarily plays as a winner, and he's more effective from that left hand side. Is Daniel James. You can put him as attacking mid, but I think primarily plays on the wing. You can put him on the right, but you see the best out of Daniel James when he's playing on the left. The likes of Leeds have been in for him. Everton of course have been in for him. So he has attracted interest from quite a few clubs as Daniel James. So yeah, it's still looking likely we're going to get a deal over the line for him. Hasn't been finalised yet, but there has been positive stories going on in regards to Daniel James. And the good news is it's looking like, Sanchez is going to be going, and as I said earlier on in the video, or I might have said it on my last video, if Bale was to come to Manchester United, we'd obviously see Bale as the replacement for Alexis Sanchez. And Alexis Sanchez's wages are having a really, really bad effect on this football club, of course. He's the highest paid player at the club, he's the highest paid player in the Premier League, and Sanchez has not exceeded expectation levels at Manchester United, as we thought he would have done, to be quite honest. We thought he'd been a fundamental player, reflecting back, what he did at Arsenal. Obviously he played under Pep Guardiola when he was younger. did Alexis Sanchez, and he was fantastic, and he's had a fantastic career, Sanchez, you know, up until he came to Manchester United, because he's been so inconsistent for Manchester United. You know, he has sustained a number of injuries, so he has become injury prone since he's come to United, and he's only been here about, what, 16 months as Alexis Sanchez. But I think now we are intending on letting him go on a long season loan deal, because obviously, you know, we can't get rid of him permanently, you know, based on his substantial wages, so we're letting him go on a long season loan deal. Man United, of course, are willing to pay half of his wages off. We do know Juventus and Inter Milan are battling it out for Sanchez. You know, they've had negotiations with Sanchez's agent, because obviously, was it last week, Sanchez's agent was currently in Italy. But yeah, it's either Juventus or it's Juventus and Inter Milan battling it out for him. And obviously, Sanchez has had experience of playing in Italy, you know, when he was a lot younger, you know, with under knees, of course. So I think he probably, you know, will be playing his trade in Italy next season, Will Sanchez. But he doesn't have a future at the club anyway. You know, he's 30 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace. And we know mainly it hasn't been first choice anywhere, Sanchez. We know mainly Martial's been first choice ahead of him, but when he's had the opportunity, you know, he's just been so inconsistent as Sanchez. But we do know he can play in a number of positions, but when Man United have played him, you know, we've mainly put him on that left-hand side, or we've put him up front on the left. And yeah, but I think the majority of his goals when he was at Arsenal actually, you know, came up front, you know, Alexis Sanchez. So yeah, it's looking likely he's going to be on his way out, but he is one of the problematic players. But the majority of this Manchester United squad at the moment is problematic, of course, you know, based on their poor performances, you know, poor run of results, of course. And I said I'm still backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course. You know, we've got to give him, you know, time to spend money in the summer, see who we can recommend to come in to the club. As you all know, he's going to have his final say anyway, you know, what players come in, what players leave in the summer. But at the moment, as you all know, City are strides ahead of us, you know, Liverpool are strides ahead of us. I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations are going to be, you know, fighting for that top four, of course. And, you know, Manchester United, a lot of money has been spent at the club, you know, since Alex Ferguson retired. We do know, I think about £700 million has been spent or something like that. You know, we've had different managers with different philosophies. So we have been playing catch-up for the last 5 or 6 years. And as I did say, you know, I'm still backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the moment. I'm still backing him at the moment, you know, to see who can get in the summer. And then if this bad run of vein of form continues going into next season, then I will be critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Then I will demand him out of my football club, of course. And, you know, the majority of the blame is on the players. You know, some of the blame stems from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he's been getting his team selections wrong. You know, his tactics are very, very questionable. You know, some of the blame, you know, does also, you know, stem from Ed Woodward. And Solskjaer hasn't got the experience of a manager, and this is what concerns me. He hasn't got it to the highest level. He had it as a player, but he has not got it as a manager. So he hasn't really got that managerial experience. And, you know, this is what concerns me. But let's be honest, none of this squad's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. None of this squad at all is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. So he's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. And, you know, I want us to get as number one priority targets in the summer, but I think it's going to be hard. We didn't spend out in January. We didn't get as main priority targets last summer. So we've got to be ruthless in the summer transfer window, and we've got to make it overall this summer. But the main part of this video was to give you an update on, in regards to, you know, Andre Onana. You know, there's still a lot of talks going on about that, saying that Man United are identifying him as a replacement for David De Gea. So I wanted to give you an update on that. I wanted to give you an update of what's going on with Ligt. You know, Sky Sports have now reported saying that he's on the verge of joining Barcelona. He will be going to Barcelona this summer. I think from his own perspective, he wants to make the move to Barcelona. So that's why he will be playing his trade next season. And as I did say, you know, Ligt can leave with his head held up high, you know, for my action. Obviously, progressing them to the Champions League semi-final. Obviously, you know, winning, clinching a domestic double for them, including the Eredivisie title, you know, for the first time since 2014. Sorry. So I do believe he has been an integral part of Ajax's squad, and I'd loved him, you know, to come to Manchester United. And as I said, Man United have made inquiries about getting De Ligt on the board, but only 19 years of age, has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But it's looking like, you know, Barcelona have won the race for De Ligt. So we've obviously been interested in other central defenders as well, and, you know, we've got to address that area. And some people say, you know, maybe we need 2 central defenders, of course. And I want Napoli's Koulibaly, you know, to come in. I think he'd be fantastic for us. We'll probably have to break the world transfer record, you know, to get a deal over the line for Koulibaly. But obviously, as you all know, Carlo Ancelotti regarded him as one of the best centre-backs in the world, and I do believe he's one of the best in the world. Not the best in the world, but I think I'd say he's probably in the top 4 or the top 5 as one of the best centre-backs, Koulibaly. But he's got everything, you know, to succeed in the Premier League. You know, he's quick, his agility is good, he holds his line very, very well, very tenacious, his distribution's absolutely fantastic, highly experienced, 27, you know, nearly 28 years of age, you know, Koulibaly, and he's been on Manchester United, you know, agenda, you know, for quite some time now. Obviously, you know, we were linked to him last year, we had 3 bids, you know, turned down for him, but he has been at Napoli 5 seasons, and he has made over 200 appearances in all competitions. But I do believe he'd be a fantastic leader leader in our back line alongside Victor Lindelof, but he is going to cost Manchester United quite a bit of money, but we have got the financial power to meet his valuation. As you all know, the other week there were positive reports coming out about it. There were positive stories coming out about it. Koulibaly, linked with Manchester United, and the rumours do continue to persist about it, and it's not guaranteed we're going to get Koulibaly on the board. I think Man United may try and get him for around 80 or 90 million pounds, because I don't think we're willing to pay 120 or 130 million pounds for him. But now I think we've identified him as our number one target, because obviously it was Jadon Sancho, but obviously our move now for Jadon Sancho looks in serious jeopardy this summer, so now we've turned our attentions more to Koulibaly from Napoli, and he would be fantastic indeed. I think Virgil van Dijk's been better than him this season. I've got to be honest, he has been better than him this season, but I still think he's regarded as one of the best centre-backs in the world. Is Koulibaly. Got a contract with Napoli until 2023, and I'd love him to come in. I'd love Leicester's Harry Maguire to come in. I'd love him to come in. I can't compare him to Koulibaly. I can't put him on the same calibre or level as Koulibaly, because he's nowhere near as good, but I still like Harry Maguire, He's Premier League proven now. He's highly experienced. He's 26 years of age. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him, of course. And obviously, maybe Harry Maguire wants to be, playing in Champions League football. Maybe wants to be, be up there challenging and winning silverware. And obviously, he's not going to experience this with Leicester. Man United are not intending on breaking the world transfer record for Harry Maguire. I think he was previously valued at around 70 or 80 million, was it? But I think if he is for sale, he's going to probably cost you around 60, maybe 70 million pounds. Is Harry Maguire. Obviously, he signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he's under contract with Leicester until 2023. But I do really like Harry Maguire. I think he's a really good player, and I think he'd be fantastic in our back line with Harry Maguire. So a lot of central defenders on Manchester United's agenda. There has been a lot of talks about Alderweireld from Tottenham, but I don't think we're intending on bringing him in, because obviously, as it's been made clear, we're not planning to bring any short-term players as the club. And Toby Alderweireld probably would be a short-term player. He's 30 years of age now. Obviously, I know he's well Premier League proven, he's Alderweireld, but I've got concerns about him. His first touch concerns me now. He's lost that yard of pace, so I don't think we're going to recommend Alderweireld to come in here. But looking at it financially, he is a much cheaper alternative to the likes of the Koulibalys and the Harry Maguires and all that, but obviously nowhere near as good. But yeah, that's mainly everything to update you with today, as I currently said. So if you do consider drop your likes on the video, if you do consider subscribe, as always, and take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching.